Welcome to True Health Tuesday, and the truth will set you free. So let's get into staying healthy through the holidays, and that is vital. Now, number one, this is a super stressful time of the year for a lot of people. Even though it's the season of joy and loving and giving, hopefully we can all be like Scrooge after the ghost visitation, where we hold the spirit of Christmas in our heart all year round. But you've got traffic, you've got responsibilities, parties that you have to go to. So common results of the holidays: sleep disturbances, hangovers, illnesses, colds and flus, they increase in the wintertime. Digestion problems, even depression and anxiety. So let's cover all the solutions to that so that you can have a joyous holiday without the negatives. Number one, sleep disturbances. Jet lag, huge. I'm extremely familiar with this. I travel to Thailand 3 times a year to work over there. Staying up late partying, irregular sleep patterns, even sleeping in different beds, different pillows, different environments. All of these can negatively affect how your body regenerates because sleep is vital. So number one solution for sleep, reduce the stressors and look at physical, chemical, and emotional stress. Improve your sleep environment. Realize that you go through these 90-minute cycles called rapid eye movement. And that is when you're in the healing phase of sleep. When you complete that cycle, your eyes literally open, then they close. So use night coverings or eye shades, or make sure it's so dark you can't see your hand in front of your face. Preparing the sleep environment. Get white noise application. Set it 528 hertz. You can get an application on your cell phone if you're traveling, but just make sure your cell phone is set more than a meter or 3 feet away from your head. Keep a regular sleep schedule. And this is huge. And a lot of people will be disciplined during the week so you can get to work, but on the weekends or in parties, you're going to stay up extra late, and those sleep disturbances are going to interrupt how your body regenerates. Now, a quick trip is to restrict your sleep to 6 hours a night. This way, you're in this because optimal function is 6.5 to 7.5 hours. There's high disease rates if you sleep 9 hours or more, 5 hours or less. So being disciplined on your sleep is going to limit it, and it's going to maximize the periods of rapid eye movement where you can get that deep sleep. And avoid excessive stimulation. This means no electronic devices, no computers, TVs, cell phones, iPads, anything before, because those things do two things. They interrupt melatonin because of the blue light, but it puts your brain in a beta wave state where you can't get that deep sleep. Reading a paper book, something boring before bed, giving rhythmic eye movement for reading a regular paper book is very, very helpful to calm that brain down before sleep. And then exercise regularly. Do not interrupt your exercise program. Get at least a half hour to 40 minutes a day where you can elevate that heart rate, and that's going to make a big difference in sleep patterns. Now, melatonin, it's a hormone that occurs when you get that darkness or that stimulus. Now, it's used to reset the circadian clock. It doesn't cause sleepiness, but it is an antioxidant. And when you look at the sleep patterns, as when your body regenerates, it's fantastic. So even a small exposure to blue light, and this is every computer, TV, cell phone, it interrupts melatonin. And that is huge because this is going to disrupt your normal sleep patterns. So what can you do to get normal melatonin? Well, let's look at natural sources: cherries, bananas, pineapples, oranges, grapes, plums, olive oil, even beer and wine. But you've got to be cautious. A little beer and wine can help relax the body. Too much can interrupt that deep rapid eye movement state. And it's actually a poison. It can dehydrate your body as well. Now, illnesses don't go around. You cannot catch a cold or a flu. You cannot catch it. Okay, you have to earn it. Flus, viruses, funguses, bacteria, colds, flus, they don't affect healthy tissue. But however, Okay, if you have a weakened immune system because, or a weakened response to the environmental stimulus, because there's not one system that's called an immune system. Okay, it has to do with how your body responds to the environment. Now, in the wintertime, it's called vitamin D deficiency season. When that sun, if you're north of the equator, that sun is less active and this produces less vitamin D in your body. So we've really got to look at it as vitamin D deficiency syndrome. Now, why is vitamin D so important? Well, it's important for regulatory functions on cells from the innate as well as adaptive immune system responses. Now, I love this from Frontiers of Immunology. Accumulating evidence has shown that insufficient vitamin D levels may lead to dysregulation of your immune responses. Huge. Now, UVB or direct sunlight exposure is the best, at least 20 minutes, midday between 11 and 1 o'clock. You get your shoulder, chest, arms exposed. Beautiful. However, in the wintertime, we don't have that direct sunlight. Okay, and this is up to 6 months a year in a lot of northern regions. So supplementation with vitamin D3 is hugely important. And this is going to be adults. You're looking at minimum of 8,000 international units a day or IUs. But Dr. Mercola recommends 50,000 a day for 5 days so that you saturate your body with healthy amounts of vitamin D levels. Now, vitamin D works synergistically with K2. And so look at the source of this. Look at grass-fed animal products such as eggs, butter, dairy. Fermented foods are fantastic, and certain cheeses like brie or Gouda. But when you look at the fermented foods, it's one of the ways that for thousands of generations, people in northern climates have been able to store their foods, okay, by fermenting it so they can have vegetables throughout the year. But that fermentation loaded with K2 and actually helps how your body responds. Then phototherapy, light therapy for vitamin D. And you've got to get a narrow band UVB. That's the best. Philips certified Solaric systems are good. There's a number of different products out there, like a Juve light that's infrared and ultraviolet, fantastically good for you. But also boost your system with vitamin C containing foods. Because when you look at a vitamin is excellent. Fantastic. But when you look at that nutrient content of fruits and vegetables, oh my gosh, it's bound to bioflavonoids, phytonutrients. It soups up the potency of it. So oranges, red bell peppers, fantastic. Kale, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, strawberries, grapefruit, guava, kiwis, green peppers. Just know, remember, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. So knowing that you have the vitamin D deficiency season, get that light, eat, let food be your medicine, medicine be your food. Add more fruit to your diet. It's fantastically important. Now, hangovers. The medical term is vesialgia. Now, you're looking at headaches, dizziness, fatigue, nausea, stomach problems, drowsiness, sweating because you're trying to detox, excessive thirst. You're trying to hydrate because alcohol is dehydrating. Cognitive fuzziness. Okay, drinking too much is not good. So what does this do in your body? Well, your pancreas, okay, and this is one of the main sources of pancreatitis because your body is trying to adapt to this poison. Hepatitis, that's liver inflammation. And this chronic exposure or acute exposure can cause this. It shrinks the frontal lobe of your brain. What's the frontal lobe? This is anxiety, stress, depression, impulse control. Okay, all of these things that damages the frontal lobe of your brain, slows your gastric motility, damages your digestive system, disrupts your gut flora. So this means you can't produce or absorb nutrients like B vitamins. So you're talking neurologic issues. Totally disrupts your microflora, inhibits hormone production, throws you in a stress state, weakens your immune system. It's not good for you. So here's some old school remedies, and this is kind of fun. And because each culture has a different one. And I know what you're saying. Well, wouldn't it be better to not poison yourself? Yeah, well, it would be better. It'd also be better to hydrate, while you're drinking, watch your consumption. And for sure, for goodness sake, if you're going to consume alcohol, make sure you got a designated driver or you are not driving. Driving in alcohol, you can harm other people, and that's dangerous. You can harm yourself, but this is a self-induced poisoning. So do not drive when you're going to have anything, even one drink. Get a designated driver. But let's look at Mexico. Prawn salad. Okay, pickled herring in Germany, beer in Netherlands, and I think that's the same thing in Ireland. A bit of the hair of the dog that bit you. Yeah, that'll do it. Well, if you look at beer, it does have hydration in there. It does have some minerals. Okay. Yeah. Pickled plums in Japan, strong green tea in China, which makes sense because it's a good antioxidant and can hydrate the system a bit. Tripe soup from Romania. That's also menudo in Mexico. I like that one. Now, bacon sandwich in the UK, which kind of makes sense because it's very fatty and that may slow down the gastromotility as well. A sauna in Russia, that makes a lot of sense because you're detoxing the system. Make sure if you do a sauna, make sure that you hydrate like crazy because alcohol can dehydrate the system. Pickle juice in Poland. My oldest boy's living in Poland and my most amazing daughter-in-law. But luckily they're not big drinkers. Tomato juice and raw eggs in America. So there's a lot of home remedies for this. But here's some tips to avoid it. Number one, hydrate. Look at 2 to 3 liters of properly filtered water. Now you can add a pinch of sea salt or lemon juice to the water to alkalinize, mineralize, and a little bit of sea salt in there will help the water get absorbed in the cells. Coconut water is fantastic, super high in electrolytes, but you've got to inundate your water with fluid to dilute the poisoning. Vegetable juices, and I mean real fresh vegetable juices, which is super high in minerals. Look at celery. Every vegetables, particularly it has to be organic, and it's also high in electrolytes. B vitamins help detox the liver. So B complex. Look at healthy proteins and healthy fats. Eggs, avocado, spinach, fantastic. And then exercise and sauna. What does exercise do? You're detoxing the system. You're moving the lymph. It's one of the most fantastic ways because you got respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, and urination. That's literally how the body alkalinizes and detoxes. Exercise helps with two of those. Swimming. And now anytime you swim, if your water is touching the skin, you're going to get absorption. So saltwater pools, swimming in the ocean, fantastically good for you because you get that transdermal magnesium absorption. Ocean swimming is the greatest thing in the world. Now, to solve the digestion problems from the holidays, because what could happen? Well, bloating or gas because you're going to be taking in foods that you normally haven't. Cramping or pain, that means there's not good motility, constipation, nausea, diarrhea. Now, some of the causes of this, it could be non-organic food. You may be really, really good and restrictive at home where you're only eating organic, healthy, non-GMO, but non-organic food is hard to process. Plus, processed foods, toxic processed foods, they typically remove the metabolic and digestive enzymes. This is why digestive enzymes are so good to take if you're eating food that's unfamiliar to you. Genetically modified foods, okay, they're soaked in glyphosate, which is a mineral chelator and an antibiotic, which is going to disrupt the normal flora. Antibiotics in food or prescription antibiotics. This can destroy the normal gut flora that you have, altering it, increasing to yeast overgrowth, and that increased intestinal permeability. Excessive alcohol consumption in moderation. And if you are going to consume it, do not drive. Do not drive. Okay. Medications. All medications can alter mitochondrial function. And this is literally the powerhouses of your cell. So if you're taking medications, find out if they're necessary. Stop the unnecessary ones and extremely cautious with mixing medications and alcohol. That could be a deadly combination. And the chronic stressors. So what are the solutions for digestive issues? Well, obviously organic and plant-based. So if you're making those holiday meals, get the organic. And if you can't find it in the wintertime, frozen organic is really, really good. And that, at least at stores, and it's good for you. Healthy fats like coconut oil, olive oil, avocados, fermented vegetables that gets some of the B vitamins in your system and helps pre-digest the food. Probiotics, juice the vegetables, blend the fruits. Raw dairy is fantastically good to get that healthy bacteria in the system and get you the healthy fats. And then reduce the omega-6s and increase in animal fats and in omega-3, so healthy animal fats. Now, fermented foods are incredibly good for you. They promote beneficial bacteria, support your immune system. They increase vitamin B, which is fantastic, omega-3s. They actually have digestive enzymes. Now, look at the different choices that you got. You can get kefir, kombucha, sauerkraut, pickles, miso, kimchi. There's a lot, but get different fermented foods from different manufacturers. So you get a whole host in there. Then prebiotics, probiotics. There's so many things that you can do to maintain your health during the holidays. And so when we talk about the 5 keys, proper nerve supply, regular exercise. Okay, with the proper nerve supply, that means you've got that automatic nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic, rest and digest, and fight or flight. So if you are in a stressful state, you're worried about the presence or the driving or meeting the relatives or all the other stressors, that's going to decrease your body's ability to digest, process, and rest. So this is huge that you look at your autonomic nervous system. Exercise is one of the greatest things for good mental and physical health every day, even in the wintertime. Proper nutrition. This means if man makes it, you don't eat it. Your diet is going to be the same as your great-great-grandparents. Sufficient rest. Do not sacrifice sleep. Okay, sleep is when the body regenerates. And prayer and meditation. Think of this every religion that I know of, the worry doesn't help. What do most religions say? Give your worries up to God. Okay, God is in charge of this. So prayer and meditation, particularly at the time of the year when we want to connect with others and honestly be like Scrooge after the ghost visited him. Keep the Christmas of spirit in your heart all day long or all year long. So this way you're carrying that love. When you have that belief in a higher power, just know that each spirit that you come in contact with, each person is divine in energy. Whether you have different belief systems, they still need to be honored in every way possible. You treat others the way you yourself would want to be treated. And then that opens your heart and gives you a better connection. This is why prayer and meditation is just as important to get that connection with others as your response to yourself. This helps your body and brain and body and your entire system. It gets you out of the physical, chemical, and emotional stress. Now, we're going to be answering questions. We have to divide them up. So post your questions as quick as you can underneath here. And we're going to divide them up into 2 sections. One that I can answer on social media because there are certain restrictions. And the other I'm going to be answering on our private site, the Dr. B VIP. God bless you all. Very, very Merry Christmas. And may the love of God, the love of each other permeate your soul and permeate your life's actions. Know that we are all family. And when you realize that each person has that divine spark, you're going to be a little bit kinder to everyone, even the person that cut you off in traffic. And know that try and live like Groundhog Day, where you're going to do the best action you can every minute of the day you can. And then that's going to elevate the people that you're coming in contact and help your spirit as well. God bless you all. Very, very Merry Christmas. And may you hold that spirit in your heart all year long. God bless you all.